Hello. So, this is technically my beginning to the vlog. So, hi. Here we are again, the beginning of another reading vlog. I am getting out for an evening walk because today is the last day I feel like that we're gonna have spring-ish weather. It's supposed to jump up into the 90s pretty much starting tomorrow, which I'm not built for, but here we are. Where I ended my last reading vlog, I had not decided yet what my next read was going to be. I ended up settling on The Gods of Children and Fighting Men by Shauna Wallace. I saw that it was free for Audible members a while ago. Thought I wanted to listen to it, just wasn't in the right mood for it. After reading The Winter King, was super in the mood for it. So I started that and I'm about 30% of the way through. It's fine so far. I think part of the problem is that I'm wanting it to be The Winter King and The Warlord Chronicles, which it's just not going to be because few things are ever going to be that. But this story takes place in the 900s in Ireland. It has a dual POV. It's two women. There is magic in this world, and there is a fine line between those who use magic and those who do not use magic. They don't like each other, and one has been trying to eliminate the other and basically put them into extinction. In addition to that, we have the dealing with old gods, aka the Norse gods in this book, and the introduction of Christianity and how a lot of people are starting to convert. So it's interesting from the religious perspective, kind of what's going on. Ireland as a whole was really interesting for that. If you look at the actual history of conversion from the more druidic religions and faiths, and how the Norse mythology arrived in Ireland in the first place, and then the evolution to how it became a really predominantly Christian nation, which is kind of how it still is. Even though Carlos from StoryTube has told me that a lot of churches are now used as pubs in Ireland. So I'm going off of what Carlos is telling me. But all in all, I think it's good so far. I'm just not as engaged with it as I was hoping to be. Also, I think that the woman who does the audiobook narration is excellent. Like, her accent is great. And I feel like there's enough of a distinction between the two women that I generally know who's talking. But the one thing I will say is that it's a lot of proper nouns in a very quick period. Like, the intro is just inundated with them, which some people are fine with that. I prefer a bit of a slow landing when I'm coming into a book, just so I can ease my way into the world and ease my way into the story and the characters. But all in all, I'm excited. I had a great love bomb chat with John from Talking Story last night. I really, really enjoyed talking to him. We are gonna have a chat when he finishes Oathbringer, which is exciting because I friggin' love Oathbringer. Oathbringer is incredible. And I know a lot of people don't love Oathbringer. They're like, oh, so long and it's not as good. I gave Oathbringer 5 stars. I friggin' love Dalinar Kholin. So that's my hot take of the day. But excited to have more chats with John. I have another love bomb coming up at the end of the week with Tom from Tom Orange, which I'm also really excited about because the last time he and I chatted was to chat about the fact that we both read all of the Cosmere last year. So it'll be nice to kind of talk about what we've been reading since then, reflect upon that, gearing up for Stormlight 5. All of that's really, really fun. What else is going on? I just have a busy week coming up. I'm trying not to freak out about query letters, which is really hard because they are very time intensive and I cannot seem to get a handle on how to do them. So that's been a thing, but I took the day off from that today, which was really great. This is my first time actually picking up my phone or anything to record anything in a little bit, probably like 2 days, or about 24 hours, over 24 hours, which is nice. Was very present today, hung out with my kid, and yeah, it was good. So excited to see what the week is going to bring about. I put up the poll for July's Patreon pick for our book club, so I'm excited to see what it ends up being. If you want to pick, join the Patreon. You can help contribute. But yeah, it should be fun. I have to start Malice pretty soon. I think it'll probably be later this week, maybe, when I start Malice. So have a couple of bigger stories coming into the mix, and I'm still figuring out when I'm gonna do Dark Age with Tori. So I think last week had a couple of smaller books, this week not so much, but we'll see. Hello, quick update here. House of the Dragon is premiering tonight, so I'm mentally preparing for anxiety. I am about 80% through of my book, and this is so slow. It's really, really slow. I don't dislike it, but it is really slow. So we'll see. Hello. This is bouncing a little. It's been a really busy day. Okay, so I have had a health development over the last couple of years, which has been really frustrating in that I've developed horrendous TMJ, to the point where it's quite debilitating for me, and it causes crazy vertigo, insane dizzy spells because of the vertigo. It makes my vision really wonky. It's why I haven't been able to read physically this year. And after going for a bunch of tests, MRIs, CTs, meeting with doctors and stuff, we realized that my joint just like straight up isn't working right now. So I have been made this really hideous lower mouth guard that I'm gonna have to wear pretty much all the time for the next 6 months to a year. I took it out to film right now also just because I had a little bite to eat. I can take it out when I'm eating, and if I'm gonna be doing a video or something like that, like, I'm gonna take it out. But the hope is to restabilize my jaw. So I'm hoping that that will make life a lot easier because it's been rough. So that was the start of my day. I finished The Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shauna Wallace, and I really wanted to love this book, and I just didn't. And I don't know if it's because I just finished Warlord Chronicles and I'm still on my high from that, and I kept thinking this is gonna be good. It's similar-ish era, similar-ish being it's like 500 years later, but it's kind of that like Norse, Anglo-Saxon, Viking era. And this took place in Ireland, which I was really interested in, just because I have Irish and Norse ancestry, so I thought that sounded good. I just couldn't really get into this story, and I found that the magic wasn't really necessary to the plot. It didn't advance it in any way. I felt like it wasn't ever fully developed in a way that I thought would be aiding the story or building up the story. I just kind of found it lacking a lot of the time. And I found that one of the POVs, because it's a dual POV, first-person POV book, I didn't like her. So it made it difficult. The last 20% of the book, I feel like stuff comes together. That's the other thing. It's a really slow burn. Like, it's a really slow burn. And it just didn't hit for me. I will say, though, I think it is a very well-written book. So there's that. On top of that, I then started Dark Age by Pierce Brown. So I'm buddy reading this with my friend Tori from Tori Talks, and I am 8 chapters into that, and so far I'm not loving that either. Like, I'm finding the shift from the first 3 books to these latter quartet books to be really jarring. And I don't like that you're immediately thrust into fighting in this. Like, I just don't like it. I like a build, and I feel like it's not working for me in the ways that I really want it to be working. It's still early, so there's time for things to turn around. So I'm curious to see where I'm gonna land on that. I then went to the eye doctor because I confirmed I do also need new glasses. So that's exciting, and ordered new lenses today. So I'm gonna try them out and keep my trusty frames that I have here, but I have another set of frames that if the prescription does work, then I'm gonna refill those. I'm gonna fill that at some point, and then I'll have 2 sets of glasses, because having just one set I feel like is dangerous, because when something happens to this, which it will, I don't want to be screwed. So that'll be good to have. Watched House of the Dragon last night, put my video out for that. Blood and Cheese wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. That's all I'm really gonna say about it, because I don't want to spoil things for people. But all in all, if you want to hear my thoughts about that, you should go watch that breakdown video. It's just been like an intense few days with how I've been feeling. Having an invisible illness is really difficult, because people just don't take you seriously because you look fine, and dealing with chronic pain in your head and chronic dizziness is horrendous. Like, it's fucking terrible. So I'm really hoping that this new hideous mouth guard is the way. But yeah, I'm hoping the rest of the week will pick up. I think it will. And I'm hoping that I will enjoy Dark Age. I'm gonna go play World of Warcraft. I'm playing hardcore World of Warcraft, which means you can't die. If you die, it's literally game over. You cannot res, you can't send your mail or your stuff, you can't send mail with the things in your bags or anything like that. Like, you're done. So I am up to level 17 now, so it's going along slowly out of 60. This is not my first attempt. So I'm hoping it will be my last. Hi, Penny. Hi. What are you doing? Hi, Miss Penny. Hi. I'll leave you alone. Okay, bye, Ben. And then over here, hi, Salem. So I've been experimenting with making gluten-free bread, which is hard. And this is looking pretty decent. Like, bounces back. It's got an actual crust on it. Looks pretty good to me. Hi, Penny. Hi. This is your basket? Yeah. Hello. I have Murray here. Say hi, Murray. Been a hot minute because I'm still super under the weather. Thank you, Murray. I can't get a handle on this sinus infection. Just feel like I'm dying. So haven't recorded pretty much anything in the last several days. I'm about 25% through Dark Age, and I'm really not loving it. So there's that, and I started Malice, which I'm gonna be very minimal of giving my opinions and feelings for Malice, because I am gonna be doing that for our book club. But so far, has real strong Wheel of Time vibes for me. And if you know how I feel about Wheel of Time, you might have an indication as to how I'm feeling. So I'm still under the weather, so I'm making myself turmeric milk because I'm hoping it'll boost my immune system. So it's a combination of milk, water, some cardamom, there's a whole clove in there, and 3 black peppercorns. Hey, Murray. There's Murray. Got some cinnamon in there, turmeric, of course, a little bit of vanilla, and then I'm gonna add honey to it as the sweetener. I'm just using a honey that Josh got while he went to a wedding. So I'm gonna get my jackalope mug here, one of my favorites, and mix it up. Ta-da, the final product. It's delicious. Hello. I am still getting over this stupid sinus infection. I am now on my 2nd round of antibiotics in an attempt to feel like a human again. Trying to get out and move. I have a fun vestibular disorder that I developed after my concussions that never seems to fully go away, but flares up when I'm sick or if my eustachian tube or my sinuses are infected. And exercise is one of the few things that actually helps with the vestibular system. So it's early in the morning. That's why I can wear a sweater, because it's going to be 90 today. But here we are. So I haven't given much of an update lately because honestly, I haven't done much reading lately. I've just been too out of it to really focus. I haven't been able to even really read on my computer because my eyes have just been bugging out. But I did start listening to Malice. I'm about 40% through. Not gonna say much, like I said, because I'm going to save that for the live that I'm gonna do with Josh. But I am about 40% through Dark Age, and I will say something about that. I am feeling like this second part of this series is not what people were telling me it was gonna be. It's too much action, not enough character development. The first 3 books, I felt like it was an equal balance, where we would have fighting and action, and we would have character growth through those moments. Right now, I'm struggling to see it. Like, I'm finally starting to get a little bit. But the first 17 chapters of this book were fighting. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't like action sequences a whole lot. So I'm struggling with this book. And I was talking to my friend Tori about it from Tori Talks, because we're buddy reading it. And she was saying that a lot of people have told her Lightbringer is when it all kind of comes back together. I don't feel like I should have to read multiple books for it to get good. Like, you know, parts of the book I think are really good. But overall, so far, I'm really disappointed in comparison to how things were like in Morningstar. So we'll see. I know it's gonna be a hot take opinion because everyone likes these ones better, except maybe Tori and I. Alright, so I am about equal parts through Dark Age and through Malice. Neither one of these books is working for me. I'm bothered by it. I'm more so bothered by Dark Age because it's book 5 of a series, and it's just so jarring from what that series was. So, struggling hard. Hello friends, I feel like it's time to end this vlog where I started, on a walk. And this vlog has taken multiple weeks to get here because it's just been a ride for the last few weeks, and it hasn't been an enjoyable ride. Health-wise, it's been really rough the last few weeks. In terms of what I was reading, not good the last few weeks, which is really disappointing just because I feel like, for the most part, since joining this lovely community of BookTube, I've had really wonderful reads. It's been a lot of discovering new authors, new genres that I like, just experiencing some new stuff and enjoying myself. And I thought that the reads that I picked up were gonna be winners. I really did. I mean, no one ever picks up a book for the most part unless you're intentionally hate reading something, that they're not gonna like it, right? And with the last few reads, specifically Malice, I chose that thinking Josh and I were really gonna like that book. We did not like that book, which is unfortunate. And then with Dark Age has got to be the biggest disappointment possibly ever that I've read. It was just so bad. And I know that so many people love that book. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. It is everything that the first 3 books were not, in a really negative way. It's so underdeveloped in terms of character work. It is so full of tropes. Here comes the cavalry multiple times. Shock value after shock value. There were so many deaths in that book that I found that I just stopped caring because I wasn't being given time to process the deaths that were actually happening. You know, in Morningstar, there's a death scene that is so excellent. Like, the scene itself is excellent. And then the following scenes of grappling with that death and what it means to the characters that have outlived this character was so well executed. And none of that gets to happen in this book because it's just bam, person dead. 2 chapters later, bam, another person dead. And it's just frivolous at this point. I felt like the whole thing was just a dumpster fire. I hated it. I hated it so much. And I hate to say that because I never want to hate a book. Like, I don't think anyone ever really wants to hate a book. But man, did I hate Dark Age, like, just so much. And I'm just mad about it. I'm really, really mad about it. I'm going to read Lightbringer, but I'm going to wait until August. Tori, my girl Tori, steadfastly read this with me. We've done Iron Gold together, did Dark Age. We're going to do Lightbringer in August. And I'll probably vlog that one just to see how it comes together. I feel like I need some space from this book because I'm really mad about it. And I don't want it to cloud and taint my judgment of Lightbringer. So there's that. I also then started a new romantasy book called When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. I think her name is Sarah A. Parker, something like that. Because I've been seeing it circulate for the last few months and found that it looked interesting. I like a good romantasy that deals with dragons and, you know, who doesn't love a story that has dragons in it for the most part? Dragons are real hot right now. I mean, dragons are always a hot button thing for fantasy. But wanted to see how this differentiated itself from Fourth Wing and figured I'd give it a try. I struggled with this book too because it had the protagonist as once again an assassin. Like, people need to move beyond this young assassin trope for romantasy. Like, I'm not here for it. And I just found it was a 700-page book that didn't move the plot along. So I don't know where I'm going to go next in my reading foray. I'm debating straight up rereading ACOTAR because I need something that I know that I'm going to enjoy. And that would make it a multiple reread this year. But I just feel like I need something to glom onto that I know I'm going to love. Also debating maybe doing The Will of the Many. It's been on my list for a while. Kyle just finished it, really liked it. And despite Kyle and I giving each other shit a lot of the time, we do tend to have similar opinions on quite a few of the books that we read, except Dark Age. He's straight up wrong about Dark Age, Kyle. But The Will of the Many might be on the docket coming up. With my love bomb with John, I talked to him off screen for a little while about some books. He gave me some suggestions. There was one, Lamb, the Gospel According to Biff, I want to say is the title, that sounded fun. That might come up on the docket here pretty soon. But I don't know. It's bleak right now, guys. It's bleak. So I'm just needing some books to kind of lift my spirit. And then we had our first book club, which was fun. I had a really good time. And our July pick is The Spirit Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. So I am looking forward to reading that. I don't know what kind of experience it's going to be. I've been given warnings from multiple people in terms of just letting the process go, giving trust to this, just reading it and not thinking about it for like the first third. And Evie, I know, is very excited, so I'm interested to read that, but I'm not going to be starting that this week because it's the first week of July, and our live isn't going to be until like the 27th. So I want to keep it relatively fresh, but I am going to give myself more leeway time this month with reading because I cut Malice pretty last minute last month, and that ended up being a mistake because it was a lot of Malice in a short condensed period of time, and that did not work out well for me. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm excited to see what comes up. If you have any reads that you think might help me right now get back into the swing of things, let me know in the comments down below. I'm sorry this is a bit of a disjointed vlog, but I'm hoping to get back into the normal swing of things here in the next basically. Yeah, just been a weird few weeks. Definitely have felt it, and hoping to feel back into a good swing of things here soon. So thanks for chugging along here with me. If you got to the end of this video, put a little running person. I don't run, but we're getting through this together, to let me know that you made it this far. If you want to help support the channel, you can always hit like and subscribe with that little bell thing that people like to tell you to do. Also, there's a Patreon, and it gives you access to a private Discord where we get to hang out and talk about books for book club and all other kinds of fun stuff. So, as always, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye!